Hello there. The caveman has returned, I suppose. I am back with a little bit of an atypical video. Today I'm going to be taking you along with me for my training and nutrition of the day. I will keep this intro a little bit short. I also don't know how well formulated my sentences are because I just got out of bed like 2 or 3 minutes ago. Literally went to the bathroom, drank like some water, and sat down to record this. And yeah, because I actually want to stick to my regular schedule for the day, I'm going to, try to keep these short or talk a little bit more if I take an actual break that allows me to do that. For now, I'm going to start with a small workout. So my days start with a little bit of cardiovascular activity to just get me going, not a ton, like 50 jumping jacks. I'll do some horse stands for those of you who either do Kung Fu or have done it in the past or something related. Or who like old-timey Kung Fu movies, I suppose. You will know what that means. Everyone else will see in a second or can just look it up. And then after that, I'm going to be doing some stretching for the legs before I get into my work for the day. I think I'm actually going to leave it at that, and anything further will be said in further clips. And as you can tell, I've further transformed into the ultimate caveman. The reason for that is that I've spent like the last 4 weeks, or like 99.9% of the time of the last 4 weeks, just not leaving my apartment. I've had a lot of work to do, which is why I've been home a lot, just reading, researching stuff. And this is the result. Without further ado, let's get into the day. All right, before I get into my work for the day, there's something I realized I should probably show on video as well, which is the supplements I take sort of in between on the side, not with regular meals, because obviously I'm not eating anything right now, but this is part of my nutrition technically. So in the morning, I take some water with magnesium, kalium. I'm not going to look up the bizarre names Americans come up with for these. I'm just using the name that's actually on the periodic table. I think kalium is potassium or something like that. No idea what it has to do with potatoes. But regardless, magnesium, kalium, and essentially some regular salt. So natrium chloride, and I think they have a strange name for natrium as well. Can't think of it off the top of my head though. Anyways, regardless of that fact, this is what I'm having essentially for work right now. I might have some caffeine later. If I think of it, I will record a short bit for that as well. And if I don't, we will see each other again for breakfast, which is going to be in about 2 hours, so around 11, because I got up a little late today, so it's around 9 already. Didn't set an alarm since it's Saturday, but I woke up at 8:30 30 or something like that. So not actually that long until I eat breakfast. Usually it's more like 4 or 5 hours. So anyways, I'll see you guys in a bit. It's breakfast time. As you can see, I've tied back my ferocious barbarian mane so I could actually see something for work. And yeah, let me switch around the camera. I don't actually know how that works. There we go. That's my breakfast. Very basic. Just cup of skyr, 450 grams. Sometimes I eat 400 grams. Sometimes I eat 500 grams, depending on how big the cup is that I bought. And about half a liter of water. And yeah, that's really it. I sometimes have something like a banana or, something of the sort with this. Right now, I don't have anything like that at home. So this is all I'm going to eat for breakfast. And you might be wondering, if you sometimes have something like a banana with this, doesn't that mean that the calories of this meal are inconsistent, or the macros that you're consuming for this meal are inconsistent? And I think I have mentioned this in past videos, but let me actually turn the camera back around if I can figure this out. Right, there we go. I've mentioned this in past videos. I don't actually count my calories, and I don't really count my macros either. The reason why is that's something that people who are not particularly familiar with nutrition and dieting, and who are also perhaps not that familiar with their body, need to do. Me, personally, I've been experimenting with and researching the topic of diet for many, many years now, or many, many years maybe sounds a little bit long. As long as many, many years can be for someone my age. So, I don't know, 7, 8 years, something like that. I started getting into diet back when I was like 15, 16. Obviously, those were just the beginnings. So that's when I started getting into researching this topic, experimenting with different stuff. But since then, I've obviously done a lot of different things. I have really gotten in touch with how much food my body needs, what type of stuff my body needs, like the specific macros, the types of food that I agree with or that I don't agree with. And because I used to count calories in the past, and I've had various different meal plans, if you will, various different diets that I've been on while I was counting calories, I have a very good idea of how much I should be eating in a day. So I don't need to count calories. And I think this generally goes for almost everyone, except perhaps people who compete in professional bodybuilding on a fairly regular basis, because the amount of time they have to cut or bulk is obviously very limited, and so they have to be a lot more strategic about what they eat, etc. Maybe also fighters, possibly, because they also have to sometimes cut weight and stuff like that in a very limited time frame. So it might make sense for those kinds of people, rather. But generally speaking, the average person should get to a point where they don't need to count calories or count macros to stay at more or less the same body fat percentage / weight that they are at, and then, slowly gain or slowly lose a little bit of weight, depending on what their goals are. Yeah, I actually felt like there was another point I was going to make, but it slipped my mind, so I'm just going to go ahead and dig in. And after this meal, I will continue to work for a couple of hours. I do most of my work before breakfast, so I'll only be working for maybe an hour or two at the very most. And then I will prepare my lunch, the second meal of the day, which is going to be a bigger meal. So, yeah, see you then. I just remembered that I actually wanted to show this. So, here's my caffeine for today in a beautiful cup that I decorated myself when I was about 5 years old or so. I am currently working on a topic related to Alexander, so I'm reading some scientific papers and enjoying some homemade iced tea alongside it. This is black tea with a little bit of apple juice. Got the camera turned back around. A sip of apple juice. The main aromatic, if you will, is lemon juice, and then a little bit of sugar is also in there. I'd say about 90% of this iced tea is just straight up black tea. Sugar content should be around 5 grams per 100 milliliters, which is about half of your typical soda. So your usual like Coca-Cola or other soda brands usually have around 10 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. So I think this is like a decent alternative. It has a little bit of sugar. I do actually like my caffeine with sugar. I prefer to get that caffeine rush, but also some actual energy added to that rush to make me perform well. And yeah, this gives me that, but at a sort of, more moderate level. It's less sugar. It's also less caffeine since, tea, again, doesn't have a ton of caffeine. And yeah, I really like this stuff and have been drinking it for the last couple of weeks. All right, I'm back. It's lunchtime, and I'm actually going to keep this clip a little bit shorter, or as short as I can, because I've been working a little bit longer than I should have, and I'm starting to feel a little bit stressed out because I'm actually quite hungry. As you can see, this is, again, a fairly simple meal. We got 3 bread rolls, some salmon, some smoked salmon, and some more supplements mixed with water. Now, usually I would be having my second skier of the day with this meal. However, today I will be having it a little bit later, so for my third or maybe even my fourth meal of the day. And the reason for that is this little pill. This is an antibiotic because, unfortunately, during a trip in late summer to the Swedish countryside, to essentially the Swedish woods, if you will, I managed to catch Lyme disease. I came back with a tick, and it ended up being a little more troublesome than your average tick. And yeah, I am a little more than 2 weeks into my antibiotics treatment, so I'm almost finished. And this antibiotic does not go well with dairy products. I believe it contains lactose, and there's also some other components in this antibiotic that don't mix well with dairy products. Long story short, that's why I will not be eating my skyr right now, or not be starting to eat it right now. What I will usually do is I'll eat about half with my lunch, and then I'll eat the rest later on. Now, One thing I forgot to mention, I believe, during breakfast is that the skier, or skiers plural, since I eat 2 in a day, are actually part of what I called my skeleton diet. The skeleton diet is something I mentioned in my video on nutrition, which I think was my second video since I've started uploading this type of content. And essentially the idea is to not have a fixed, super rigid diet that you adhere to, but to have a skeleton diet, which is essentially, I'm getting sort of distracted because someone is sending me messages and they are showing up at the top of my screen, but I'm going to try to keep it rolling. And I'm actually you can tell I'm getting a little flush because I'm stressed out. I'm hungry. But yeah, let's finish this. Christ. Okay. So the skeleton diet is basically, it's about 60%, maybe 60 to 70%. It can just be 50. The more the better, but you don't want to go too high of what you eat in a day. And the purpose of the skeleton diet is to get the protein you need in a day, get sort of the amount of quality food that is not super processed, that is not super calorie dense, get that in, and then be able to eat a little more freely, kind of eat what you want for the rest of the day. I'm actually going to have to take this robe off because it's fucking hot in here. Give me a second. So essentially my skeleton diet includes these 2 skiers that, one of which I've had for breakfast, one of which I will be having later on, and then some other stuff which I will point out or mention when I eat those specific foods. And stuff like what I'm eating right now, the bread rolls, the smoked salmon, that's essentially my free choice part of the daily nutrition. I'm starting to kind of trail off here, I'm noticing, because I have a hard time concentrating right now since I really don't have a ton of energy left mentally. I've been working for the past 2 hours and I haven't really had much to eat. So before I dig into this meal, a few quick words on these supplements. This is essentially just a multivitamin with some additional stuff that's not really relevant. Now, the reason I take this supplement is because I used to invest a lot of time into having a very balanced diet where I get everything I need in terms of micronutrients as well as macronutrients. However, what I kind of realized was I don't really want to be thinking about food that much. I don't want to spend that much time thinking about food. And I also don't want to have to eat a balanced diet. It sounds kind of stupid or childish maybe, but the reason why is because I already have very little time as is. There are a lot of things I want to get done. There are some things I need to get done. And between those two, I try to spend as little time as possible on things that I don't really need to be spending time on. So what I like to do is I like to be very, very simple, very basic, very almost Spartan when it comes to my nutrition, because this allows me to spend very little time shopping. I don't really think a lot about the stuff I buy when I shop. There's one meal in the day, essentially, that will wildly differ from other days, and most of the other stuff is exactly the same. And I do eat some fruit, I do eat some vegetables, but I think for me personally, the easiest choice is just to take a multivitamin and to supplement some magnesium, some calcium, the stuff you saw during
breakfast or before breakfast, actually. And yeah, to just, not have to think about it. Do I generally recommend this? I would say it's best if you have a balanced diet that allows you to get proper nutrition without supplements. However, I'm also going to be completely honest with you. This is just not something I feel like doing. I don't want to, buy various different kinds of food. I want to focus on my macros, have those be in line, and then beyond that, not really think about food too much or spend a lot of time preparing food, etc. Right. So that's, why I stick to supplements. All that being said, I am really, really hungry and I'm starting to get very sort of foggy on the brain, trail off with my thoughts here. So I'm just going to go ahead and dig in and see you guys later. This is essentially my pre-workout meal. So I'll be eating this, then I'm going to take a nap probably after that, work a little bit more, and then get ready to work out. I took a nice long nap and got warmed up a little bit, and I'm going to get into my workout now. We got an arm workout, arms focused workout. I'm going to get into my workout philosophy or the sort of program I'm currently following a little bit as I, start training. Without further ado, I'm going to get into my first exercise, which is barbell curls. Going to talk about that a little bit probably after I finish the exercise. And yeah, I'm going to do my first few sets. All right, that's a barbell curls out of the way. Now, as you may have been able to tell, let me actually try to get this phone set down here somehow. As you were probably able to tell, I vary the width of my grip from set to set. That's because I've recently started to target the outer and the inner biceps more specifically, which was not something I did before. The reason being that before I was achieving, sufficient amounts of growth, sufficient amounts of strength gain. Let me set up my next exercise while I talk here. I was getting that without having to target those areas of the biceps more specifically. However, I've reached a point where, as a natural, I'm starting to really struggle to grow my biceps further, or I was hitting a bit of a plateau with just regular curls. So I started, alternating the grip to more specifically target certain parts of the bicep, make the curls more difficult that way as well. And yeah, I've started to see some significant growth again. In case you're wondering, what the fuck's this next exercise that I'm sitting in a chair for? I'm going to be doing some Arnie dips. And I actually do these with my legs raised up and with weight in my lap because regular Arnie dips are way too easy. And my break has actually just ended, so let me get into the exercise without any further talking, any further chatting. So what's crazy is I haven't actually noticed any strength detriments from either the Lyme disease or the antibiotics. So in terms of my actual performance on the sets themselves, that really hasn't been impacted. However, as you can tell, I'm pretty out of breath, and I don't really know why. I haven't gotten into the processes that might be behind that. Maybe because the antibiotics are wreaking havoc on my gut, so I'm perhaps not absorbing food properly. But yeah, I really noticed that my sort of energy, my ability to do work over an extended period of time, that has been diminished significantly while on antibiotics, which kind of sucks, but you do what you got to do. So I'm taking slightly longer breaks in between sets. Yes, in case you're wondering, I do have fixed rest times in between sets, and I will be making a video on conditioning in the near future, I hope. Let's see how much time I have. For now, actually, my break time is over, so I'm going to get into the next set, and after that, I'm going to say a couple of words regarding rest times. Fuck. So rest times. As most of you probably know, when you're, or actually, I have no fucking clue what most of you know, as some of you, as many of you might perhaps know, fixed rest times don't really serve a purpose if your only goal is either gaining like strength on a single set or even on a single repetition, so increasing your 1 rep max. And rest times are also not really relevant for hypertrophy. However, as you will know, if you've seen previous videos of mine, I don't train to be a bodybuilder, and I don't train to be a powerlifter. I train to be a beast. I don't train to look like I'm a sick motherfucker. I train to actually be one. And to this effect, my stamina has to be at least adequate. All right, I obviously do martial arts as well. My stamina can't be complete shit. Obviously, my stamina, my ability to perform is a little hampered right now by the antibiotics, as I mentioned. But generally speaking, my stamina should be decent enough. Fuck. I'm rambling so slowly that my fucking rest time is over again. So, yeah. More after this set, I guess. Fuck me. Christ. Whoo. Pause. I did not just say fuck me, Christ. I said fuck me. Parentheses. Not parentheses. The fuck am I talking about? Comma. Christ. Those were two separate. Regardless, forget it. Let me check. My next exercise is sitting dumbbell curls. Okay, we got that set up. Okay, so rest times. Right, since I want my stamina to be decent, and since I don't just want to have decent stamina for activities that only involve stamina, I actually want decent endurance on strength-based activities, right? I want to be able to, at least to an extent, do strongman type of stuff and not run out of gas. Because of this, I don't have super short rest times at the moment. I do have a workout that has pretty short rest times as well, like a minute, 45 seconds in some cases. Right now, we're doing moderate rest times, about 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, and in between longer exercises where I'm doing lots of sets, or maybe it's an exercise that's very taxing, like squats for the cardiovascular system. I might do 3 or 4 minutes, which is more than enough to recover, if we're being honest. But if it ever got to the point where I'm out of breath and I feel like that's not enough rest time, I'm just too much of a little bitch. Like that's not going to cut it. So this is essentially like a personal standard I set for myself. If I can't make do with 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes of rest time in between my exercises, I'm just too much of a little bitch, and I need to get my shit together and need to get going, because that's not gonna do. So that's why I have fixed rest times. That being said, my rest time is actually almost over, so I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick, and then we'll get into some seated dumbbell curls. I finished my bicep work for today, and while I set up my next exercise, I'm actually going to say a quick word or two about this ginormous hole in my pants. Because you might be wondering, why is this dude wearing a pair of sweatpants with a humongous hole in them for his workout, or really for the entirety of the day? The reason why is actually quite simple. Because I've been wearing these pants for training purposes and just for all different kinds of manual labor and chicanery for the last 10 years or so. So they have now developed a few pretty substantial holes in them. And personally, I don't really see the point in buying new clothes, especially if we're talking about workout, kind of outdoors type of clothes, as long as the ones you have aren't so worn down that they essentially defeat their own purpose. You can't really use them as what they're supposed to be. And I mean, it's great to avoid unnecessary garbage production, right? Not throw too many things away, not constantly buy new stuff. That is great. But I'm going to be completely honest here. That's not the primary reason why I do this. The primary reason is that I think it's a waste of time and money to buy clothes that you don't actually need. I do have clothes that are perfectly fine and intact for, more classy occasions. And my rest time is actually over. So let me get back to you after this next set of triceps extensions, standing dumbbell triceps extensions. And after this, I'll say a little bit more. I finished my biceps and triceps isolation exercises for today, and I actually completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about before this set. So I guess we'll just not talk about that anymore. Next exercise is going to be some reverse wrist curls, and then I'm going to do some normal wrist curls. So we're going to do two different exercises for the forearms, one with the palms facing down, one with the palms facing up. Rest time is actually perfectly over now. So yeah, let's get into that. Little side fact on the reverse wrist curls. Obviously, there's a lot of weight on my thumbs, and I don't know if I mentioned this in a video or not, or if I even made a video since then. But I actually injured my thumb and wrist, on my left hand, a couple of months ago. At this point, 1 or 2 months ago. No, actually more like 2 or 3, during a jiu-jitsu sparring match. And they haven't fully recovered yet. So I'm actually doing myo reps for this exercise specifically because I do as many reps as I can before my thumb starts hurting. Then I take a short break, essentially until it's fine again, and then I continue doing reps instead of doing the amount of reps I would normally do to get to failure just in one go. And I'm actually going to continue doing them now. All right, just finished the
forearms exercises, and my next exercise will be some lighter weight squats. At which point you might now be wondering, the fuck kind of workout is this, right? I said this was an arms workout. Now I'm doing squats. What the hell is going on? Well, I did say I was going to talk about my programming a little bit in this video, so I'm going to do that. I will also be doing some bench press later. I will be doing some pull-ups, some work for the hamstrings, for the calves. So even though this is an arms focused workout, it is essentially a full body workout at the end of the day. It's just that the arms are the thing I'm really working properly, if you will. And then I'm getting in a couple of sets for other body parts. And the reason why is that I recently realized I need even more volume than I had already been doing if I want to continue to grow. And for, the last couple of years, I've been following a push-pull legs or sometimes an upper-lower type of split. But I noticed that it just wasn't cutting it. The amount of work I was able to do with those splits was not enough, was not sufficient to really give me significant gains. At least I had gotten to a point where that was no longer possible. Rest time is over, so I'm going to do my squats real quick, and then I'll be back and continue this. I just realized my recording wasn't going anymore, so I missed the squats. I'm going to do a squat variation, another one, later on, so I'll just record that. I hope I don't forget to hit record again. Next exercise is going to be some leg curls, where I will be lying down. And to be quite honest, I have no idea how to record this from any sort of perspective where I can see the camera. I'm going to try to film these, but I don't know if they're going to make it into the final cut. So you will know. Apart from that, what was I just talking about? My workout. Additional sets. My fucking rest time is over again. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let me do a set, and then I'll get back to you on the whole additional volume topic. As I said, I noticed that I needed more volume, and I wasn't able to get it by packing on more sets onto, say, a push day, right? I couldn't add a ton of like bench press or triceps exercises. There's just an upper limit to how much you can stack into a day like that. However, what I did realize was that some of my muscles really don't need a lot of time to recover, and they weren't getting the sort of work they really could be getting potentially because of these splits that I was running. So I developed a completely new program, which is essentially a sort of evolved version of a bro split, kind of like what natural hypertrophy used to refer to as a gentleman split. And this split has me working out 6 days a week. So from Monday to Saturday, Sunday is my rest day, and has a sort of focus for each day, a specific muscle group, a specific body part that I'm focusing on. However, there are additional sets stacked in there for other muscle groups. And what I essentially did was set up as much work as I could do for the respective focus of each day,
And then I would fill up the rest of the workout with exercises that were essentially geared towards muscle groups that had gotten enough rest to the point where I could do a little bit of work for them this day.
Один казак из дому стоит, ой, заскучал один казак по дому, коню на гриву повод уронил. Ой, заскучал один казак по дому, коню на гриву повод уронил. Эх, развитались кудры в рассыпную, а доминунка мучила его. Видно, видел он синюю степную, а в той дали не видно ничего. Видно, видел он синюю степную, а в той дали.
Okay, I've now finished my hamstring curls, started doing my weighted Hindu squats, which is essentially regular squats on your tippy toes. Awesome exercise for ankle stability, just all around. A really, really dope exercise to get very stable with quite a bit of weight on your shoulders. I really like this exercise for the calves, for ankle stability. All around dope exercise. Right, regarding the programming, what I have now, again, is sort of a modified bro split, where I work out some muscles every single day. I work out chest every other day. So out of these 6 days of training, I've got 3 days where I do chest work, and then legs I do every 2 days. So 2 out of 6 days I do leg training, 3 out of 6 days I do chest, and then I think most, if not all, other muscle groups I do every single day. Now, my lats and my traps are, I don't know, fucking crazy. Not human. I don't know why, but I can do like full-on lat workout on Monday and still do some pull-ups on Tuesday. So they recover very quickly. And this is essentially what I do. I do like a lats focused workout, a traps focused workout, shoulders focused workout where I mainly work the delts, an arms workout, which is today, right? But then for the second half of the workout, I just stack in like a couple of sets, 1 or 2 sets of every other body part that has kind of sort of recovered. And I've really seen some incredible gains with this new strategy. Basically really working each muscle hard and then giving it like a little time to recover, not working it hard for the rest of the week, but working it a little bit, getting a little bit of work in there. And for my chest, I need a little bit more time to recover. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. My chest is definitely a weak part of my physique, if you will. And this has always been the case. It's not as bad as it used to be, but just because of the fact that the chest is not that important for a lot of real life stuff, if you will, it kind of just naturally has not gotten as big as my back, for instance. But yeah, my chest needs a little more time to recover, so I only work it every other day, but I'll work it a little bit harder on those other days compared to something like the lats, where I'll only be doing 1 or 2 sets every day for them. But again, in turn, higher frequency, and using this strategy, I get a lot more volume in. I'm still able to recover, and the gains are great. and I've gone a little bit over my rest time, but I wanted to finish this train of thought because I could already foresee completely forgetting what I was talking about again. So yeah, let me get into this next set of Hindu squats, and then I think it's bench press after. We've actually got pull-ups next, then bench press, then some shoulder work, and last but not least, some abs training. I'm not going to do a ton of talking. I'm just going to go through these last couple of exercises. Probably going to film them still, but no talk in between because I don't really have much to say anymore, and I do want to finish this workout and focus on these exercises a little bit more, perform properly. So yeah, going to finish these exercises and then see you guys after for the post-workout meal. One thing I should perhaps mention is that during my workout, I have been drinking some apple juice. So this is like the last rest of it. Obviously, I was going to talk about my nutrition for the day, and this is, of course, part of it. I usually drink either some apple juice or some grape juice while I do my workout, just to keep my energy up, because I'm someone who doesn't normally eat a ton of food over the course of the day. I actually eat a lot during my meals, but because a lot of it is protein, I don't get a ton of calories in. And so since I'm trying to grow, obviously, continue to gain mass and strength, I have to somehow get those additional calories in. And the way I do that is by sipping on some juice over the course of the day. So yeah, this is also part of what I eat / in this case, drink throughout the day. Okay, my workout is finally over. I think I was going at it for a little over 2.5 hours. I will now eat this fairly small and meager meal consisting of my second skier. As mentioned before, this is a part of my skeleton diet, if you will, of my daily essentials. I will also be having my creatine for the day, which I've already started to stir up in here. And I will be finishing the apple juice that I was drinking during the workout. And the reason I'm having such a small meal after the workout is this is like 2 minutes after I finished working out. Yeah, I don't feel like cooking something right away. I do want to have a meal right after I work out. So I'm going to eat something small, have my creatine, watch an episode maybe of the series I'm currently watching while I enjoy this smaller meal. And then once the episode is over, so in like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, once I've finished this, I'm going to head into the kitchen and prepare my final meal for the day, which is not going to be super, it's not going to be a ton of work, but it is going to be a little bit of preparation, and I feel like eating something right away right now. So this is why usually I will have a sort of smaller meal, a small snack, if you will, right after working out, and then a proper post-workout meal a little bit later. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this and then meet you guys later for the final meal of the day. We have arrived at the fourth and final meal of the day. Let me turn the camera around real quick. So I will be having some scrambled eggs. This is 6 eggs with quite a bit of butter. I like my eggs quite fatty. Another 3 bread rolls, and I've also made myself a little bit of fruit tea. So this is not actually tea made out of tea leaves, but similarly to herbal tea, this is essentially just hot water with something else, what do you call it, infused into it. So in this case, it's dried fruit. I put some honey in there as well. And we also got some sauerkraut. Now, this is not something I typically eat with this sort of meal, so this is a kind of add-on. My girl got this for me because, as I mentioned earlier, I am currently on antibiotics, and like many fermented foods, sauerkraut is a probiotic, so I'm eating this stuff to kind of somewhat counteract the negative effects that the antibiotics are having on my gut. Also, it is, of course, a cliche German food, but that is not the main reason why I'm eating it. Although I will say it might be a little cliche for a German, but I do actually like sauerkraut quite a bit. I will also be having this. This is just a vitamin D supplement that I'll be having with this final meal. Again, as I said regarding the multivitamin supplement, I would recommend that you guys get your vitamin D by going outside, having an actual life. For me personally, currently, I have to do a lot of work. I'm very, very busy at the moment, and I don't really have the time every day to go outside. I do most of my work during the day, so usually my free time is in the late afternoon. I will be doing, my workout most days during this time. So I typically do go outside at some point during the day, but in many cases, as is the case right now, if you actually look out there, it is already dark. So I just generally try to keep my vitamin D levels stable, keep them up, because I realized actually quite a long time ago, I've been taking vitamin D for quite some time, that not having stable vitamin D levels really impacted my my mood. I was, especially during winter time, in really bad moods at times, and supplementing vitamin D has really helped to improve that. So yeah, that's going to be it. For today. This is a day of eating for me and working out. Obviously, the short walk is yet to come. You could, if you wanted to, include that in my physical activity, in my working out for the day, although like 15 minutes of walking is not really a workout, and I usually walk for more than 15 minutes. But yeah, in terms of food, this is what I eat / drink in a day. I'm currently trying to reach 90 kilograms, give or take, maybe a little bit more. That's the current body weight goal.
if you will. Not that I really care about my body weight, to be frank. I don't even really care about my physique that much, as many of you know. I work out for a more balanced approach to athleticism, fitness, strength, all of that. But in terms of strength gains, I feel like having a weight goal and obviously being able to look in the mirror and see whether or not I've gained significant amounts of fat allows me to kind of gauge to an extent whether or not I'm making progress. Right now, I'm at 84.5 kilos or something like that. I might actually be at 85 by now. It's been like 2 weeks or something like that since I've last stepped on a scale, and I plan to reach 90 kilos, maybe a little bit more, maybe 91, within the next 2 to 3 years. Might take a little bit longer, we'll see. Since I'm obviously, I don't have a crazy physique for a natty lifter, but I would say I've, built a substantial amount of muscle in terms of what my frame can actually hold. So it will be a very slow burn. It will take a long time. We'll see. I hope it only takes 2 or 3 years, but it might be longer. I was actually I had another point, which I kind of forgot. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I forgot. Anyways. Oh yeah, right. My plan is to get up to 90, like a good 90 kgs, and do so while maintaining roughly the kind of body fat percentage that I'm at right now. So I don't know, maybe 15%, 16%, something like that. And once I get there, I want to cut down a little bit while maintaining my muscle to maybe around like 88, 89 kilograms. So cut down like 2 or 3 kilograms of weight, mainly fat, and maintain my muscle mass, get a little bit leaner, go down to like 12% body fat. Obviously, I'm just throwing random percentages out here. I'm not actually going to measure that. I don't really care about that. This is just like a rough guesstimate of where I want to be at in terms of the sort of look and feel I am imagining for my body. And all the while, I'm obviously going to try to maintain a high level of body weight strength, if you will. So I want to be strong relative to my body weight. I'm going to continue to do pull-ups, dips, etc. And I'm also going to continue to fight. So I will pick up BJJ again. My injury that I talked about earlier has healed to a significant enough extent that I can get back into fighting sports. So I will do that as well. And yeah, see where my physical journey, my athletic journey takes me. All that being said, I'm kind of catching myself rambling here. I just, as I said that, I remembered that scene from Incredibles, where the guy says, "You caught me monologuing." Those of you who know will know. Yeah. So, you can tell I'm done for the day. I should finish this video. So, if you enjoyed yourself, if you learned something, if you found this interesting, if you found this mildly entertaining, go ahead and leave a like And if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, anything I showed in this video, random shit in the background, if you feel like it, go ahead and leave a comment asking me about the strange things you might have spotted. And yeah, if you want to continue to see videos that I make, I suppose, and join me on my journey of making videos. My God, I really need to. I really need to eat something. Yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead and subscribe and activate the notification bell, I suppose. And I will see you in hopefully another video that will be out very soon. I actually have several videos planned. Do not for a second think that the reason why I haven't been uploading for the last 2 or 3 months is that I don't have any ideas or that I don't want to upload. I actually genuinely haven't had the time between university stuff and working on my actual work, like the stuff I actually do. I just haven't had the time to upload more videos. So yeah, let's hope that gets better. I will be having like, what the fuck am I saying, bro? I don't even know how to finish that sentence. I'll have some more time. I'll have more free time. I can. Bye.